go on and react to that. But actually, before we do that, let's react to this thing. There was a video that I really liked. I was just like, yeah. I think what she said here was amazing, and we're gonna react to it. But before we get back onto the whole thing, let's just listen to this.
Of course I was going to write an essay about Wireless. Let's talk about it. Wireless was basically a 3-day Drake concert with all the guests centered around the different phases of Drake's career. The R&B phase, the UK roadman phase, and the Afro-diasporic phase. This didn't particularly bother me. Drake's culture vulturing is nothing new, and he's just not relevant to the music cultures that I actively engage in and care for. Besides, London's infatuation with him is a chokehold that has been prevalent for over a decade as we remain cucked by our friends on the other side of the Atlantic.
Yep.
There are plenty of critiques that address why Drake's involvement in the UK scene is problematic, to say the least. I'm not going to go over these here. What or who I'm more disappointed in is the active community of consumers and producers in UK music. So firstly, to address the London creative scene is dead, UK is bad vibes people. The Saturday Wireless lineup was a monumental moment for the stars of the UK underground, and yet my feed was bombarded with complaints of people not knowing who they were and others wishing they could exchange or refund their ticket for another, more American day. How on earth are we to cultivate a strong scene when the audience doesn't wish to discover nor support new local artistry?
And there you go, that's another thing. That's my problem with the UK. UK are also like Americans. Just and what she said here is what that article, like, total sense. Because how are we to cultivate a scene if we are not able to? What did she say? Hold on, let me go back again.
How on earth are we to cultivate a strong scene when the audience doesn't wish to discover nor support new local artists?
And that's the thing. Until you get to a certain point, yeah, this is how the UK goes. No one's ever ready to, support you or not. Everybody will watch you though. Happily watch you, bro. But until you get to a certain place, that's when they're like, oh yeah. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Even though you're cold, but it's just like, until it's like sheep mentality. Until somebody actually says, yeah, woo or not, this is what we're on, or this is look at him, they won't do it. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And she like, that article put it so perfectly. You're not ready to support local artists, or you don't want to support local artists, or when you have the opportunity to do so, you say bullshit like, you these guys, and discredit the whole set. But it's like, bro, again, it's just closed-minded people. Like I said, it's closed-minded people. A lot of people are not ready to expand their mind and be able to explore new artists and things like that, bro. Why do you think the UK scene as of this moment right now is a bit, in terms of charts, numbers and things like that, I think the UK rap scene is miles. Like, you have to understand, the UK rap scene nowadays is entering top 20 charts, top 10s, number 1s, top 5s. You wouldn't see that if you went back to like 2016 and them things, like them times, there was a lot of UK rappers entering the charts or even top 40s, bro. But now we're seeing that more regularly. So in terms of the scene elevating, it's definitely elevated. For sure. Definitely elevated. In terms of numbers and everything, and charts positions and everything, therefore elevated. But outside of it, artists coming up with new things, artists coming up with new sounds and things like that, it takes a while for the UK to gravitate to it. It takes a while for the UK to take in a sound that somebody else is doing. It's only now that the underground scene is getting appreciated in the UK, but it took a lot of years, in which she's going to actually mention it.
When the audience is so infatuated with what's happening over there that they're not paying attention to what's happening right underneath their noses, the unwillingness to experience British festivals as an opportunity to discover new sounds and artists, especially within the Black British scene, feels remiss. Wireless has always been pretty Americentric, so its albeit limited attempt to include UK emerging artists should be celebrated. Now, I have deeply conflicting feelings about the direction of the underground scene in the UK at the moment, with some sentiments being perfectly articulated in Sibo's article on Substack. In it, he expresses concerns for the sustainability of the scene, refusing to celebrate its rise if it continues to replicate cycles of extraction and erasure. He elegantly dismantles this idea that one artist blowing up guarantees the welfare of others coming up underneath, or the health of the scene as a whole. I want to go a little bit further. When I first saw the video of Drake bringing out Fake Mink, I was completely taken aback. The first feeling was the shock and excitement of seeing a new UK artist on the main stage of one of the biggest festivals on the calendar, which was then followed by an acute rush of dismay at the realization Drake was the one bringing him out. To preface, I don't want this next segment to feel like a targeted attack or hate train on the artist. This is a critique rooted in a deep love and care for UK music. Historically, growing up on UK music has meant watching artists that you love never get the shine that they truly deserve. Earlier iterations of the underground scene with names like Kish, DXVL, Lee Black, House of Pharaohs, Blue Room Mafia, Ami Boys, IMDb, A2, etc. laid the foundation for the success stories we see today.
A while for people to like underground music, bro. People she mentioned laid the foundation to where underground music is now / today, bro. It took a while. Only now it's getting accepted, bro. And she's gonna mention the one album that really was like, yeah, we're here now and this is us. And it was Conglomerate, which is Len, Fimi and Lancey.
Artists from that era have managed to adapt or reinvent themselves, like Kibo, Rada, LZ, but they remain under-recognized and undervalued. Lancey is potentially the only one that blew up, but even then, I think his success was capped to an extent. We're finally at a point where people are ready to embrace the underground in all its vibrancy, but it took a long, stubborn push to get here. It meant ignoring the old heads, the mainstream, the gatekeepers, the Americans. It emerged post-grime and post-drill, rejecting prescribed ideas of what Black British kids should sound like. It was a determined fight for acknowledgement, built on horizontal collaboration and creative consistency. Close alliances formed the collectivized energy that we see in today's scene, and that's why Conglomerate was such a powerful moment. That project represented the culmination of years of work to be heard, achieved without a cosign. And to me, the underground was exciting precisely for that reason. It had been a genuine space for counterculture, even if not everyone involved realized it. So when I saw Drake, arguably the epitome of the music industry and its exploitative tendencies, bring out Fake Mink, it felt the same as when Cortez partnered with Nike. They didn't have to. You would have made it anyway. There's this myth that entities like Nike or Drake are immortal cultural forces that cannot be outgrown or surpassed. In the UK, we're especially prone to this idea, which often leads our stars to sell out and align themselves with corporatized artists or institutions. But the truth is, these institutions are already in decline. We are more than capable of building our own, or at least reshaping what already exists. In my opinion, legitimizing the old guard is more risk than reward. This new generation is already defining what is cool. A moment like DRAKEMINK signals that some new wave artists are willing to risk their cultural capital for institutional validation. I understand the hunger to be seen after so much neglect, but it's crucial to realize that the new wave holds the power. These moments matter because they shape what future artists think success should look like, and whether independence or institutional approval is the real endgame. By endorsing and engaging with legacy institutions, they reinforce their grip on the scene and limit the growth of new cultural ecosystems. Don't want to enter, like this one. It's one thing to truly enjoy the music, the styling, the creativity. It's another to pretend like it's speaking truth to power, because it isn't, and they've made clear that they don't really want to. This doesn't make the art any less enjoyable, but it does mean that we need to be honest with ourselves about what it is and what it isn't. The underground might still be a space for potential, but potential is not the same as praxis. I'm still baffled by the obsession with cosigns and labels when UK artists have already proven that they can build worlds without them. But I think the fallout from Wireless has shown me that more often than not, we need to take these things at face value. A lot of these artists just want to perform to big crowds and make money.
This video a lot. I really do. I really fucks with this video a lot, you know. Like, whoever made this thesis said it right. A lot of the times we've actually gotten to a stage here where we don't need Americans, because they're seen as well. It's tired, bro. Because they're on because they're like a bigger market than the UK. It's easier for someone to just be able to make music and just big in their city. They don't have to be known all over America. As long as they're big in the city, their city is big enough to be able to fund these artists in their city. Do you get it? But their scene is also tired, bro. And like, it showed that you don't really need Americans. For example, Central C showed us this. I'm using him as an example because the way he went about his career was so different than a lot of UK artists, which he went and tackled Europe first. Because it's all, you have to understand, when it comes to Europe, London is one of the big dogs. Let's keep it $1.50. Like, if I go Portugal now, yeah, if I go Lisbon now, a lot of them are trying to emulate the UK. UK influence outside in Europe is heavy. I don't think people actually understand how heavy the UK influence actually is. The whole Nike text, the whole Trust Me, the whole Bally's, and the whole, bro, even drill music. The way if you go to Lisbon and listen to the drill music is very much bro. They try to emulate the whole UK thing, bro. So when he went and tackled, he went literally to the next door neighbor, France. Then went Germany, then went thing, and then he tackled all these areas to the point he was so dominant. He was getting more love out there than he was in his own ground. Like, this nigga was charting in France. Do you get it now? Like, it's a crazy market. The way he did it so well, and then he collabed with artists. He was smart, bro. And then once he had the leverage, that's when they went over the bridge and into America, and then did their moves in America to the point out here giving out hit singles, Ice Spice. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, bro, it's crazy. And now he's signed with Columbia on a 25 million deal. So now that's gonna push him even further than where it is, because like, as much as we say, like, we really don't need Americans, but Americans do influence a lot of the things. But do we need them? No. Do we need a stamp of their approval? No, we really don't. We can create our own shit and still be, yeah. For example, look at the Latin scene. I think they need Americans, bro. The Latin scene is so big, bro. They don't need outside factors, bro. Outside factors are bonuses, bro. They don't need that. You think a nigga like J Balvin? Do you think all these reggaeton niggas need these Americans? They don't need that. Bonuses, because their scene is so, and their market is crazy, bro. Go take a look at the Brazil scene, for example. And I say this as well because in Brazil, the way they operate, the way their scene operate is very much different to like here or even in America, bro. Like, their scene is way different. And I've looked into their scene, so it's different. But what she said, like, we put these Americans into but we don't need them. Like, it just comes down to really and truly what you want, what you stand for, and where you want to take your music career to. For you to become a superstar, you need the industry backing and everything, everybody supporting you. If the industry is not behind you, it'd be really hard for you to make it to where you need it to make. Bro, the UK is on a different way, bro. And then, like she said, there is potential, but is it gonna be a proper thing? Lord knows. We just have to wait and see and do this. But we have to be willing to also accept and be able to have an open mind for things like this to grow. And that's the thing, a lot of people in the UK are also not as open-minded, bro. Until somebody puts a stamp of approval, which this comment says, like, they are glad to be under his wing as long as they get that Drake connection and stamp of approval. He parades a new UK rapper every year. Central sees his current concubine or concubine it's mutually beneficial arrangement for every single one of them. And this is the thing that's gonna happen. A lot of people turn around and say, oh, but Drake is one of the biggest fans when it comes to the UK. We showed love, jumped on Dave's Wanna Know remix that blew up overseas. He had Section Boys headline this show back in 2015. He may be a fan. I don't know this nigga personally. He may be a fan. You know what I'm trying to say? But come on, man. Look, Dave is only now getting the American recognition. When Drake jumped on that Wanna Know remix, it did something to him. He had the LA Leakers, so he had some sort of American presence. I'm not gonna sit here and say that Drake may have not helped with that, but again, it didn't really take him in a niche of people in America that listen to UK music. They won't take a nigga like Dave in because Dave is too much for their brain. Like, it's as simple as that, bro. Come on now, let's be fucking for real, man. It's an interesting discourse, and you know what? I rate that people having these conversations because it gives me content. And shout out to her giving her opinion, and I rated this video highly.